Hi guys, it's good to be back before your screens. For those who do not know me, my name is Fortunate Ingabire, aka F.I.R.M, and like I've shared before on this channel, I share about healing, mentorship, and life generally. And in this particular episode, I would like to share with you my experience at Harvest Institute, the School of Leadership at Worship Harvest. At the beginning of this year, and based on what I have gone through, maybe if you don't mind, I'll just read something small for you about grieving generally. It says that you don't get over it, you just get through it. You don't get by it because you can't get around it. It doesn't get better, it just gets different. Every day, grief puts on a new face. And this is a quote by Wendy Fersen. So why do I share that quote? Well, after 2020, I thought, well, my life had come to a standstill, but I kept pursuing different things on my healing journey. And among those was, of course, writing a book. I believe some of you have read it, and those who have not, thanks to Worship Harvest, I was able to finally publish it. This is how it looks like. So, yeah. I kept doing one and two things about finding healing on my own, and then on my journey I realized that actually indeed grief does wear different hats. So at one point you're very okay, and at the next you're not. So I used to tell my husband that he needs to go to HI because, well, I think it's for leaders. What I didn't know though was that maybe it was meant for me. So at the beginning of this year, I decided to go and do the course myself, and boy, oh boy, it's been exciting. It's been so many things. One, I was pushed to the core, I was stretched, but the beauty of it all is that, one, I got to grow as a person, and then I got to finally actually officially publish the book, because at the beginning of this year I had already started sharing my healing story and healing journey with a number of people, about 80 of them, but this was on an ad hoc basis. I'd never really thought I would go ahead and publish the book, but given the stretch at the Worship Harvest School, I was able to go ahead and officially publish it. But what stood out for me were the tips they shared about leadership, and if you allow me, I'll just read them one by one for you, and I hope they'll also guide you as you start your new year 2023, and you'll probably purpose to also lead and walk in the journey that you have been put here for, because I feel like right now I'm pretty much doing what I'm supposed to be doing here. So I'll just go through my lessons from the school briefly. Some of them are premised on what was taught to us on the very last day, which was also the graduation day. And one of them was that this life here is yours alone. So it's your race to run. Nobody's going to run the race for you. So for example, while I wanted my husband to go to the School of Leadership, perhaps it wasn't for him, and for me, it was for me to go to that school and run that race. And I feel like this particular year I've been able to run that race and also be catalyzed into what I am called to do on this earth. Then that you have to do the growth work for yourself. Doing the growth work for yourself, again, is related to running the race for yourself. And you must be willing to appreciate the effort others are putting in to stir you on your growth journey. Then success is knowing your purpose in life and going ahead to sow the seeds of success in others. So do not believe or think or even imagine that you're here to only thrive as a lone ranger. You're supposed to grow with others. The other thing I learned is that as a leader, you must offer yourself willingly for God's glory. I mean, do whatever you have to do for the glory of the one who has created you, and step up and lead. You know, very often we find ourselves saying, government etuyambe, I don't know, so many other things. But then we hesitate to actually step up and lead. So that's one of the things that I picked from the School of Leadership that I think is very important, and I hope that each one of you, especially those of you who are watching me right now, will pick up and choose to lead instead of complaining. Then, that the only person you can control on a good day, I guess even on a bad day, is you. Usually we focus on everything and everyone around us, and we forget that the only person within our control is ourselves. Like, for example, on that very day, there were so many odds against me, yeah, but I had to get up and go to the grounds and graduate, because anyway it was me graduating, nobody else. I was also listening to someone saying that these days people don't want to do certain things because they are counting on someone to support them. But I guess one thing they keep forgetting is that the only person that they can control is themselves. So if, for example, someone has paid your school fees, someone has given you everything that you need, all you have to do is just get up and go and do what you have to do. So they've done their part, go and do your part. And if they have not done their part, still go ahead and do your part, because the only person that you can control is yourself. Then leadership is about changing the story. Now, changing the story, like, well, I've shared with you a couple of times. One, what was your Christmas story like when you were young? How has it changed? How was your childhood like? How has it changed? How has your career progression been like? How has it changed? And what can you do about it? And the what can you do about it is you changing that story. So if there's anything that has not gone as you would have expected, or if there's any particular thing that doesn't make you happy, that doesn't fancy you, that doesn't impress you, the only person that can change it is you. And that is by leading yourself, by changing that story. Then the other was never to underestimate the power of small beginnings and daring to change the story. And I would like to encourage you all to not estimate the power of small beginnings. I don't know at what point you're at. I don't know what you're struggling with. But from what I have learned from the School of Leadership, you can progress from down to up in a short time. And sometimes it's a play of patience, but then also trusting that things can get better, and of course daring to believe that it is possible. So please go ahead and dare to believe. Then think function over form. When they talked about thinking function over form, as thinking, okay, so what does this have to do with me being here? And of course, now what has gone through my head since then was, what is the function of healing? How do I catalyze healing? For those on a healing journey, what's the one thing that I can offer them? And well, I have not yet figured it out well. I know for sure that step one of that is for me to offer my journey with you, to share my journey with them. And one day at a time, we shall be able to figure out what the function is. But one thing I know for sure is that once you're a healed version of yourself, then you're able to achieve great exploits, to live out your best authentic self. And then, most importantly, throughout this whole HI experience, I have learned that the people we admire, the people we look up to, the people we idolize, the people, I don't know, the people we want to just be like, are not any different from us. The only difference is that they have experience, they have harnessed their skills, and they are going forth to continue to inspire and mentor you and I. But they are ordinary people like us. They are ordinary people like us, and all we have to do is to also go forth and harness our skills, increase our value, because you know value attracts value. Increase our value, and most importantly, purpose to be the best versions of ourselves, because once we do that, then we also get out of the place of thinking that we cannot achieve, we cannot be like so and so, or just admire them and stop admiring. We need to just step up, upskill, harness our networks, and continue to show up. So as I end this vlog, and as I have shared with you my journey at I also pray and hope that you will purpose to get into some growth spaces, that you purpose to upskill, that you will purpose to grow into the best version of yourself in the new year and going forward. I wish you a lot of great success. I wish you healing. I wish you love, and I wish you joy. Bye.